Good afternoon, or whenever it is you're watching this video, and welcome back to Crazy Creations. Today's video turned out decent and will be the last Christmas related video of the year. The next two videos will be New Year's related and hopefully will come out back to back on New Year's Eve and day. I also decided to do something special for this video. Otherwise, please enjoy the video. Under the cover of a dark and snowy night, Rudolf walked, trekked, and did whatever he could in his condition to find at least some hope of finding his way back home. He was battered and bruised all over. He was barely clutching onto the sword he held in his right hand, which he had used in his previous battle, before he was mysteriously transported to this dark and snowy wood. The trees around him were tall and lush with life, yet in the distance he saw no sign of any humans. No sign of civilization that he could at least rest at. Not even a ruin he could scavenge for food. Nothing. Just him, his injuries, and the forever frigid night. Despite his unfortunate situation, he kept pushing. He kept trying to search for the strength, to search for a way to rest, a way to get back home. As he trekked, he couldn't help but look back to his battle, and how his brash behavior, how his anger was most likely the reason he was even here. His mentor and father figure, Osna, was the man who taught him that his actions always influenced his situation and how he viewed it. And with the way he had acted last time, there's no way this couldn't be his fault. He kept walking, kept searching, while constantly reminding himself that it was his fault, all of it, that none of this would have happened if he had just... His train of thought was cut short when, out of nowhere, almost magically, a dim light had appeared in the distance. Like any sane person would, he thought that this was some way to get back home. So he found whatever strength he had left and ran as quickly as he could to the light. But this did nothing but make him look like a limping animal. He was almost moved to tears, realizing that he had an opportunity to apologize to his friends, to his teammates, the team he was supposed to lead, for his unruly actions. He thought back to his girlfriend Selena, who was the Blue Ranger in his team of allies who he had freaked out at not too long ago. He thought about how sorry he was and how much he wanted to apologize to her and his team. He thought back to the restaurant that him and his team would go to, have fun, laugh, make bad jokes, and, be young and free. But almost instantly, he also thought back to the creature that had stolen his beloved family heirloom, and how he had flown into a rage as soon as he knew who had taken it, and how much he wanted them dead. With all these emotions running through his head, he didn't even register where he was running, and then tripped and fell face first into the snow, dropping his precious heirloom which he had retrieved from the monster at the feet of something inhuman. The creature flinched when Rudolph's family heirloom tapped the side of its 4 feet. The creature turned around to see a flabbergasted Rudolph staring it dead in the eyes. Rudolf himself couldn't believe what he was looking at. No monster he has ever seen had any similarities to the creature before him. Not only did this thing lack arms, but had 4 legs stemming from the base of its abdomen. And in place of a stomach and a neck and a head, the creature had a flowing, nebulous mass of yellow beige-ish liquid forming the rest of its body. Floating in this liquid were 3 orbs, one in its head, one at the base of what should be its neck, and the other in its stomach. As soon as it clicked in Rudolph's mind that this thing wasn't human, he immediately sprang into action. He grabbed his sword and grabbed his family heirloom, and then went into a battle stance. He immediately started asking questions.
Who are you? What are you doing here? How did I get here? Are you the reason I'm in this strange place?
The creature said nothing. And this only further infuriated the already panicked ranger. He yelled,
Answer me! Who are you? What are you? And why am I here?
Rudolf was just about to start swinging his sword when the anomalous entity before him recognized and reacted to the danger posed to him. It then proceeded to shoot one of its orbs, or at least a piece of its orbs, at Rudolf, that then proceeded to knock him back into another tree, causing him more pain than he was already in. This only further aggravated Rudolf, and then caused him to attack the creature once again. Placed the family heirloom somewhere safe, and then proceeded to pull out both of his swords and then charge at the creature. He swung blow after blow. He kept missing the creature, who somehow effortlessly avoided him on its quadrupedal legs. But Rudolf didn't care. He kept slashing and slashing, thinking of his anger at himself, at how he let this happen, how he was supposed to protect his team, and yet Rudolf was just slashing away in anger, blindly, without purpose or control. After what felt like hours of slashing at his foe, constantly missing as the creature bobbed, weaved, dodged, and did whatever it could to avoid getting hurt from his sword, Rudolf eventually pushed the creature back enough until they found themselves outside the wood at the edge of a steep cliff. He was about to deal the final blow that would knock this supposed monster, the supposed threat, off the cliff, until he noticed the fear in its eyes. He then realized that what he'd been doing was wrong. It was out of rage. It was not him. It was not who he was. He then lowered his blade and took a very deep breath. He sighed and then looked back at the creature, which was now staring back at him intently and curiously. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. What I was doing was just wrong. I should have controlled myself. I should have stopped myself. But I didn't, and I am truly and honestly sorry for that. The creature then just looked at him, didn't seem to understand a word Rudolf was saying. So Rudolf just stood there, waiting for a response until he realized that none was coming. He was about to start crashing out again, but Pretty quickly, something else drew his attention. A tremendous, overwhelming roar echoed through the trees behind them. Both Rudolph and the creature before him looked over the cliff's edge as a humongous black and green dragon with multicolored spines protruding from its back and tail, all leading to an enormous striped club tail loomed and soared above the both of them. Out of all the things Rudolph thought he would have seen in his life, he never thought one of them would be a dragon. "Run!" he yelled, but the quadrupedal creature only caught on once it noticed Rudolph running back to the wood, running back to some form of safety from this creature. Despite him having so much power at his fingertips, he was so tired, battered, and exhausted that he couldn't find the strength to use it. Finally got to the wood and turned around. He noticed that the quadrupedal creature before him with the liquid in its body wasn't standing there anymore. He looked up to see its glow with the dragon. It had been kidnapped by the monstrous, flying abomination. Rudolph didn't know what to do. His power was running low since he had wasted some of it summoning his weapons to fight the goo monster earlier. And let's be honest, his swords are not taking down a dragon alone. He then looked around for something, anything that could help him save this creature that he had almost killed. Until he noticed a sleigh at the distance, on the edge of the very cliff that he was on. But he didn't know if it was safe to go get it. What if the dragon came back down and tried to eat him or something? He then cut off these thoughts, remembering who he was. He was the Red Forest Guard Ranger, the man responsible for taking down countless villains who threatened not only his hometown, but also the world. He didn't know why he was so scared of just a flying lizard, just because it was something new. He then swallowed up his fear and then ran as fast as he could to the sleigh. He knew he had to do something, or else the creature in the dragon's clasps would be toast, or worse. As soon as he got to the sleigh, he realized that he didn't know how to drag it along since it had no animals, it had no reindeer, so how was he going to make it work? Until he remembered a little trick from back home. He got into the driver's part of the sleigh and then focused his energy, directing as much as he could from the morphing grid into the sleigh. He then morphed the sleigh itself into some sort of vehicle that he could use. He then realized that he could push further and turned it into a Zord of his own creation. He then flew it up to the dragon and started shooting lasers at it. The dragon bobbed and weaved and actually shot a laser of its own from its mouth. The beam hit dead on Rudolph's Zord, but he kept pushing. He figured that if he couldn't keep flying this thing, he could at least take down the dragon with him. He shot again, this time not at the dragon, but at its wings. He hit them dead on, and the dragon went tumbling down back into the wood. Then took this opportunity to follow the dragon as it tumbled, and without hesitation, crash landed right onto it. He passed out, and when he woke up, back home in his bed, still battered and bruised, but safe in a familiar place. Instead of stressing about this supposed dream he had and how strangely real it was, he decided to just let it go, head back to sleep, and just rest. Figuring that he would apologize to his teammates about what he did long after he had been well rested. Well, it has been a very long time since I've done one of these, so, well, not really, just, I just never really done like a story and then, just, you get what I'm trying to say. Now, this drawing in particular was very confusing for me to do, mainly because I was unsure of what I wanted it to look like in the end. And I just started playing with it here and there, which is why this is among my longer videos, or average length videos. I call them whatever you will, they are still videos. So with this one, design-wise, I knew I wanted to make it the Red Ranger, and it was because this is obviously Rudolf the red-nosed reindeer, and I just happen to know a lot about Power Rangers and just happen to have Power Rangers as an idea in my mind. So here we are with a video like this. Now back to the design. When I actually got to the design after all the posing and whatnot, I didn't have any ideas, so I just went with the first thing that came to mind, which was just this enormous racing stripe throughout the character's suit, with some white gloves and boots, and a black belt and glove strap, I guess, with some bright yellow dots to represent the bells. Later on, I also added some, I guess you could say, like metal tip, like those boots that are just have like the metal tip of the shoe to protect them. So that's what this guy has, and all the other Rangers in his team, for reasons that I have not thought of and will never think of. This is probably never gonna come back. So yeah, one thing that took a lot of time in the end was also adding this glare effect to the visor. And also the visor itself, I didn't know how to get that look right, but honestly, the final product is just golden. Other than that, this is Crazy Creations signing off.